My name is Garrett Sims. We got a very exciting episode of Sports Time Out for you. It's our last one of the season, is what we're going to say. Episode 22 with guest Haden Terrill is coming at you right now. But with that being said, I would just like to shout out the Bank of Odessa for being such a huge. They have kind of supported us along the ways, having, I would say, an ad in almost every week that we've done it. And that's a big thanks to them and supporting us. And don't forget about the Bank of Odessa, member FDIC. With all that great stuff being said, we got a lot of seasons that wrapped up. Let's get into the action right now. Sports Time Out, episode 22, starts right now. My name is Garrett Sims. We took a long hiatus, and that's on me, so I wanted to start off by saying it's on me. I got a second job at the park, so if you see the lines at the parks and they're great, I did not do those. That's Larry. Shout out to Larry. Kory is laughing. I got him laughing already.
Nice.
I'm lucky to be joined by him again for our kind of final episode of this year, season, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of been long for us and finding our legs and everything else. I've been lucky that Kory's joined me for this, and I can't thank you enough, sir.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Like I said, we're going to kind of wrap up our playoffs that kind of happened. We haven't really talked much since some of these teams are heading to districts and stuff like that. Obviously, we got a lot of good things that happened. Some seasons ended where, you may not like them too, but you learn and you move on, and we're so excited for these kids, the seniors, obviously, what they're going to do next,
Yeah.
And these underclassmen and some of these juniors turning into seniors, what they're going to do coming up next year. And funny enough, Kory, they had softball camp up at the park yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of young gals and middle school, high school, and they had the high schoolers teaching them. So that's always a cool thing to watch. And I know they're getting ready for their season, and I just wanted to shout them out because
they have my daughter's one of them, and so they have especially a busy June coming up here with summer league and summer camps and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's kicking off. Wrapping up the 24-25 school year and already kicking off for 25-26. It's 25-26. It's going to be hectic.
And I know we got a lot of sports, and Oak Grove girls soccer and Odessa girls soccer. Just kind of start off with them. I think they ended up falling short in districts, I believe, and
Yep, both got beat in the quarterfinals.
Two really, I think, good seasons for them. Girls soccer is so exciting to watch, and I was amazed at like Emma Lentz, and how many times that she does great things. And not only that, you got Faith Harvey, and then to go the other side of it, Lauren Strout for Oak Grove. They got a lot of good pieces, Kory, and I know they're going to be ready for next season too.
They will be. Girls soccer is interesting. You can run into some teams that are just crazy good. Shout out to Pleasant Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Really good soccer team. And you got other teams that struggle, but you can say that about any sport, any girl sports, boy sports. It doesn't matter. You can say it about anything. But yeah, those two teams were really actually pretty fun to watch all year. I got to give it. Like, you gave a shout out to Emma Lentz. Like, I love that she had such a great year. I mean, honestly, I don't know that she'd really ever played soccer a lot before, but she's definitely found her niche on that team. Played really well in that. Honestly kept Odessa in a lot of games just by her action inside the box. I mean, props to her. Hopefully she comes back next year and improves, even more. So, a lot of good athletes on both of those teams that are going to be fun to watch next spring.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know as we kind of jump topics and stuff, stay with us and everything like that. I know we wanted to go into golf. I think Odessa had a tremendous. They sent two kids to state, and I mean, that was the 19th and 20th of May, so that's kind of a little past us now, but I mean, that was pretty cool to see. Shout out to those two young men, because I don't know, it was the first time I think they have done it in a while, if I'm correct.
Off the top of my head, I think it's 2015 was last time that they sent 10 years ago. But yeah, Aiden Williams, sophomore, Tristan Janes, sophomore. So I mean, that's two good things right there that you want to say. They got 2 more years ahead of them. They've got this experience, in their back pocket for the next couple of years. Hopefully they can pass that experience on, and maybe they don't go by themselves again next year. Maybe they take a team. I know that's Coach Pingel's goal, is to get the whole team down there. And who says they can't?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at the beginning of the year, he did not want to say, Coach Pingle, meaning that he would have a state qualifier. I think he kind of thought it was possible, but didn't want to jinx himself to that certain extent. And then to take 2, well, then of course your expectations and your goals change from there. So I know those guys probably didn't score the way they wanted to, but you still went as a sophomore and got to experience all that, and you got 2 more years to repeat that and improve on that.
I'm going to get in trouble for this one, but, and just to say this, these guys are sophomores. I know somebody who golfed and made it to state a couple of times, Ava Shutt, so this is where I'm going to get in trouble for bringing her up. But, speaking to her about her experiences there and how she grew as a golfer year to year, it makes me so excited that not only for Coach Pingle, but for these 2 young men, because they now have been there, and I like to see what they do now that they've kind of been and seen the top competition in the state. And things are going to change with graduating seniors and all those type of things. So the fact that they're sophomores gets you really excited to see what they can do next year, and it's just really, really exciting.
Yeah.
Also to shout out Oak Grove. Chase Reinhardt's a intern with us, so what a great season from Oak Grove.
Yep.
And once again, golf.
And we'll be back next year. They had no seniors on that team in Oak Grove this year, so they are junior and freshman heavy. So,
and hopefully they can get a team up there next year too, so then you get a little Odessa Oak Grove again. How we always like it. That's how me and Kory like it.
We do.
It's the way we like it, Tennis got cut short in the district tournament, and once again, we're going to shout out all these kids because they do great things, Kory. That's what I'm about. And, I know Zachary Waddell and most of those guys, that probably didn't end how they wanted to.
Yeah.
But, I just have the utmost respect for them because I think a lot of times throughout the season, I think they did very, very well. They beat a lot of good teams that they were supposed to, and they look fun. They look like they have fun out there, and that's just...
And it was a small group. They only had 6 guys on the team, and 3 of those guys were seniors. So, half the team is gone just like that. So, hopefully they can fill some spots. Shout out to anybody and everybody out there, but Odessa's looking for a boys tennis coach next year. So, you got 3 talented kids coming back. Do a little recruitment inside the hallways of OHS, and you got a pretty good team out there. So that would be a fantastic, fun job for someone to have next spring. Again, like I said, with talent, so that makes it a lot easier. If you don't know anything about tennis, guess what? It's all right. Apply for the job.
Yeah,
please apply for the job. So yeah.
We're going to kind of jump notes. Softball. Our only softball team of the entire spring season was Wellington Napoleon, and they kind of finished up at districts. I think was the quarterfinal.
I believe that's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. And I wish I knew this, but I don't think I even looked to see who actually went on to win state. I know Concordia won our district, and I think they were the defending state champions.
So
I'm going out on a limb here.
And he's going to say Concordia.
Yeah. So anyway, yes, shout out to them. Again, probably not the season that they wanted, but like I said, a lot of good things happened for that team this year. The seniors are going to move on. They do have a lot of young ladies that are going to be really good next year. Just got to fill in some of those gaps that those seniors are going to leave, and then all you can do is throw out the first pitch and see what happens.
This goes directly with Wellington baseball, but I'm impressed with the athletes Wellington has, and for most of these girls, and throwing the guys too, they're competing 2 sports. And so I think at a lot of points, Kory, you're exactly right. I think they had a lot of bright spots throughout their season. I think they had moments where, I thought it was cool. Kaylin Ellison gets to, after missing the basketball season, she gets back on the diamond, and she's just a tremendous pitcher. And then you got, good throw it out there, my cousin Mia Hodson. I think she's going to be a senior next year. So, just so much talent. And I think that also stems back to the seniors. Obviously, Brylan Zykin and Rayleigh Ruckavina. They kind of help set that tone. And I think I'd like to see what they do next year. Obviously, I always think Wellington softball is an exciting thing to watch because it's softball in the spring. You don't have to worry about getting too cold or chilly. You get to enjoy some nice weather minus the rain. But, such a great season. And one of the games that sticks out to me is their huge... wasn't it that close one where they scored 19 runs? They lost the game. Correction, they scored 16. But combined 30 points. I mean, they can put up the offense when
Yeah.
they want to, and like we've said, they're going to lose some seniors, but I think they're returning a lot of talent, and we're excited to see where they kind of go.
Yeah, it'll be fun. They, like I said, they can swing the bat. We gotta figure out some holes on defense, and Caitlin was our number one pitcher. Got to figure out who our number one's going to be. More than likely, it's Kayla Garland, a young lady who's coming back next year. So I mean, who knows? A lot of question marks, but a lot of good answers to some of those questions as well.
You know, and we're not going to talk about Wellington Napoleon baseball yet because I think they had a very good season in the way that it went. To quickly talk about Oak Grove and Odessa baseball, it was a short season for them. I know Odessa comes into the tournament as the 1 seed, everything like that. So Oak Grove and Harrisonville play the night before. Harrisonville takes that game.
Yep.
And I don't know if this is a bad thing to say. I was a little shocked by that, and I think because of the season Oak Grove had, I think they showed so many moments where they proved they're fighters and that they are a good team. It's just consistently, can you get that?
Yeah.
And I just think for them, that was kind of one of the bigger issues that, and then Harrisonville moves on. But they were such a good team and fun team to watch. Even when I was out there with you, they did not quit. And I mean, I really feel like even in some of their losses, I feel like that team is full of tough, hardworking, no quitters.
Yeah, I mean, and we say this about any season and every season, but man, it's peaks and valleys. And unfortunately for Oak Grove, and quite honestly, the very next night for Odessa, they were both valleys, unfortunately. Just things went right for Harrisonville, not to take anything away from the Wildcats. They played very well in the postseason game on the road against people that they probably shouldn't beat, and did. So props to them. But you can't make mistakes in postseason baseball. Too many mistakes for both teams in Odessa and Oak Grove on back-to-back nights. Harrisonville took advantage and moved on to the championship game. Lost to Pleasant Hill that following night, that third night in a row, which, but good run for Harrisonville. Unfortunately, a shortened run for Oak Grove and a shortened run for Odessa.
It's one of those things, and you'll say it all the time. You'll hear it about baseball. It's getting hot at the right time. Sometimes with football, I think your team is how they are, and a loss or two can hurt you, but most of the time, how you are is how you are. And I feel like that spans across some sports. Baseball, to me, is always screamed, and this goes with softball, right play at the right time. It's that kind of thing. You have to get hot at the right time, and sometimes, and I just want to put it out there because I was a player, and sometimes it's the camaraderie. Sometimes it's the bonds you share with your teammates, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Odessa or Oak Grove, but who's to say Harrisonville? I'm from the Thanos Shrine, so I mean, who knows if they didn't have their own Thanos Shrine?
Right.
But like we said, it's unfortunate, and we were both at that Harrisonville game, and it just felt like Harrisonville kept chipping, and they didn't want to let the foot off the gas.
Yeah, it felt like a heavyweight match for tomorrow, an old metaphor or whatever. But it was body blow after body blow, and then it was finally the knockout, or at least the TKO. It just didn't. We never really, either team, Oak Grove never really got into the game probably the way they should. And like you said, sometimes teams just get a little hot. Maybe that streak lasts 2 games, and that's Harrisonville's hot streak. Were you in school when Marshall came into our district and was like the 4 seed and then went to the Final Four?
I don't believe so. That would have been a little after.
A little after you, yeah. I mean, they came same district. Basically, it was at our place in Odessa here, and I mean, Marshall was the 4 or 5 seed, whatever it was. They weren't expected to win the darn thing, and did, and then they won 2 more to make the Final Four. It's like, holy cow! Like, so they got hot at the right time, developed the camaraderie, the teamwork, the chemistry, whatever the word is, and obviously got hits when they needed to, and made plays in the field when they had to, and made it to the Final Four in like a Cinderella story. So I mean. Yes, it's just one of those deals where sometimes stuff happens.
Sometimes, yeah, exactly. And that's the best way to describe, I think, all sports, but mainly like what we're talking about right now, right on the head. Yeah. It's just one of those things. I think it's exciting when something like that happens. It makes you want to root for it. And that's why it's hard for me because, I'll always be a little biased towards that underdog. And to see a team come out, punch a team in the mouth,
Yeah.
But I will say, with all that being said, I know Odessa's going to lose some pitching, and that's going to really hurt them. But I think what they've learned this year, and this goes with Oak Grove, I think they can take with them and build upon that because once again, you're the 1 seed. You're expected to do this. It's a little bit more pressure. And that's opposite of us because we were the last seed. We were the 6th. We were the 4th. We were the 5th. We turned the tables. And it's just one of those things. And this is my biggest takeaway from it. How can you stay consistent, having fun, playing the game you love? Mm-hmm. And that's just my biggest thing with all this.
Yeah. I think it's got to be harder, too, because we talked about this earlier, but, like, you have graduation. And then 2 weeks later, you're still playing in a very important baseball game. It's just, I would think, being a young man in 2025, it would be hard to keep that focus.
Yeah, summer,
all the
college,
time, and that's not a very good excuse.
No,
for either team, and neither coach is going to want to hear that excuse, which I totally agree with. But yeah, it's got to be difficult, doing that. I never had to experience that, but
the one thing I always say, and this kind of doesn't really go so much with that, but it was like what Thomas would tell us on a day we have a half day or a day we don't have school on a Friday. It's just stick to your routine. Yeah. Stick to the routine the best you can, and hopefully that'll help you, and that was his always big thing. If you wake up at 6 o'clock getting ready for class or whatever, keep that going.
Yeah.
So that way you're not rolling in or whatever. But that's across all schools in Missouri. That's across all schools in the nation. It's how it goes.
Yeah. Still got to play the game.
Still got to play it.
Yeah.
So lastly, baseball-wise, want to talk about Wellington Napoleon. I wanted to shout them out top to bottom. Haden Terrill, man. Hopefully, I'm hoping we have him on the show. So, man, he is just a spectacular talent. UCM's getting a great kid. He throws a no-hitter in the district championship game, which they win 15-0. And I know it's unfortunate they run into the quarterfinals and end up losing 10-0, but they gave it a really good run. They got a tremendous amount of athletes, and Kory, wow.
Yeah, they won 10-0 over. Hang on. Northeast Cairo in the sectionals, and Maddox Blystone throws a no-hitter against Northeast in the state sectional, and then they went to St. Elizabeth and lost 2-1 in the quarterfinals. But yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, Terrill's a freaking stud. Obviously, I don't care what age level or whatever. If you throw a no-hitter in a championship game,
I mean,
to me, like, yeah, boom, gold star. Then you go in the state sectionals, for God's sakes, and you throw another no-hitter while you're putting up 25 combined runs in those two contests. Like, that's huge. So, I mean, and obviously St. Elizabeth's a good team. I believe they are playing for the state championship today or tomorrow as we record this. I can't remember when. But they won their Class 1 semifinal in 8 innings, if I remember right. So, yeah, it was really good run by the Tigers. I mean, gosh darn, you hate for it to end like that, but obviously memories were made, and a new level was reached. They'd never reached the state quarterfinals before, so props to them for that. And
I apologize for my blunder. I got a little too excited.
That's all right.
I said
it's
lost
exciting.
10-0.
It's exciting.
It is exciting, because once again we go at it, two no hitters back to back. I mean, that's unheard of
in
the high school in the postseason, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. That's unheard of. And Maddox is a heck of a kid, and so I'm glad that he was able to do that. And it's just been, I feel like, and this is the only thing I'll say with this team too, I felt like it was anybody could drive the bus. And I know Terrill was the big scary man, kind of at the back of it, with his friggin' robot arm. But I tell you this much, if it was Johnny Hampton, if it was Jared Raymond, if it was Taden Kolkmeyer, if it was Jace Mefford, I mean, you could go on and on, Joe Heater, Maddox Blystone, somebody was doing something on some night, and they were all producing, and it just felt like somebody every night was driving the bus.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Stumfel was like, especially after the sectional win over Northeast Cairo, he's like 1 through 9 hit the ball, which is just awesome. You have to have that.
Because then who do you pitch to?
Right. You can't pitch around anybody. There's no easy innings. There's no, we got 7, 8, and 9 coming up. Let's get 3 ground ball outs and head back to the dugout so we can hit. Like, no. Like, you're going to have to work to get 3 outs every single inning, and that's freaking fantastic. So, yeah.
And just a congratulations on their season. Obviously, they're going to lose Terrill, so they got to find another pitcher because Blystone will graduate too. But I think they're in good hands. I was really, really excited and happy. I don't know, to see what Coach Stumfel did over this season everything like that. And sometimes it's not easy to know when you have a great team. And because I think anybody, when you have a pitcher like that, you know you have a great team.
Sure. I mean,
And
you still have to coach, though. You still, people were talking about Phil Jackson back in the day with the Bulls. Well, he had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. I don't care. He went to the Lakers. Well, he had Kobe Bryant and Shaquille. I don't care. You still have to coach. Like, you still have to deal with attitude. You still have to deal with, not necessarily that attitudes are a problem.
no, more like getting on top of schoolwork. Hey,
Yeah.
make sure you're turning
Yeah,
in.
you got to manage the team. It doesn't matter on and off the field. And coaches get way too much credit when teams fail, and they don't get nearly enough credit when they win.
succeed.
Yeah.
And my definition of a coach has always been putting their player or team in a position to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Coach Stumfold did an excellent job at that, I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and like I said, I think what we're talking about here is it's not just showing up with a great roster. I will say this. I don't think if it wasn't for Mark Thomas, we're half the team we were. And I'm not trying to make it about me, but that's how not even good coaches, great coaches kind of take it to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think time and time again, he did a great job about putting them in a position to be successful. And then when it came time to districts, they were ready to go.
Yeah, that's just fun.
It's exciting.
It's fun to watch. It makes you excited for what's up next, and what's up next is volleyball season and football season, honestly. And then you're right back into basketball, then you're right back into track and field, softball, and baseball. Like seasons like that can sometimes snowball. Not every time, but the success that you experience, whether it's in track and field or softball or baseball, can sometimes carry over to the next fall, which can then sometimes carry over to the next winter sports.
Oh yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen? I'm not saying we're all going to the quarterfinals and everything next year, but if you can ride that momentum as long as freaking possible, that's what you want to do. Absolutely.
I totally agree. And last thing we're going to kind of touch on here is our track and field athletes. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a lot of them finished with either fourth places, first places, second places. I know Eva Alexander broke some school records along the way.
Yeah.
So up and down, I think our track teams, and like I've said with Wellington, they double dip. These guys are playing a baseball game, and the next day they might be running a track meet. And I think they had a tremendous season. I wanted to say, off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. I know Brooklyn Burks placed fourth, and I believe
she was second. And oh boy, now we're on the spot here. She was second at state track. That's all right.
It was fourth.
That's
in the
right.
relays.
She might have been fourth in something else. I don't remember. Might have been in the sectionals. I couldn't remember.
Was the relays fourth? The relay team.
Could have been.
Relay team.
Man, I don't know. They're so good people we can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty much what it boils down to. But let's circle back to Eva for 1 second, because she's been, I don't know if the word's kind of destined or not, but she was a freaking animal in middle school in the throws. And you're like, gosh darn. And she was beating people by a long ways in middle school. And you're like, man, if she can really ever put it together, which she obviously has, and now is a state champion as a sophomore, shoot, she could be a 3-time state champ easily. And on top of that, is a complete stud on the volleyball court in the fall, and is a complete stud on the wrestling mat in the winter, and could also be a state champ as a wrestler. So that'd be incredible. So yeah, very cool for Eva. Very happy for her and her family, because I know that's something that they've kind of strived for a number of years. So very cool.
It's amazing to see athletes do amazing things, and that goes hand in hand with that. And track is not an easy sport. I don't like cardio. Do you like cardio?
Hell no.
So, I think any one of those kids, they do a tremendous job at what they do, and these guys do it because they love it. And it's so cool to talk about Eva again, break the school record, I think it was, and then break her own record again.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Have you ever been to state track?
I have not. That's the
I've only been a few times. And I'm sure I'm getting cussed while people are listening to this podcast that I'm not there every year. It is crazy. Like, you're not rolling up to the Odessa Invitational or the Oak Grove Invitational or the whatever it might be. Like, it is intense. Obviously there are all the greatest athletes in the state, at this one site over the course of 2 days. There are thousands and thousands of people in the stands. Like, it is just a whole new level of intensity and I'm sure pressure. And for those kids, guys and girls, to go out there and perform under that little microscope, that little ecosystem. Props to them. Like, if you get a medal at state, you have freaking earned it.
Well, because you think about that, and then you're like, at least with track, sometimes it's like getting on the bus. When do you got to be at this event? When do you got to be at this? Yeah. It just feels like, so much going on. And to your point, I think it's amazing when they do.
It is amazing. I mean, I'm so happy for them because, I mean, like I said, if you're on the podium in any state tournament or whatever, like you have absolutely earned it. Like, nothing was given to you. So,
and all our track athletes this year have earned everything.
Yeah.
Because I just been impressed with the group of guys and girls that we had going at it.
Yeah, every week they'd put up good numbers or good distances, good heights, whatever it might be, and a lot of young kids for Odessa, and honestly, same could be said for Oak Grove and for Wellington. There's a lot of those kids are coming back, so I mean it's going to be another good trip to Jeff City next May.
Good trip. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll join you. I should.
Come on down.
Well, it's been a great, I would guess, season. I don't know what they call it in terms of production. I'm going to call it a season. It's been a great first year.
Season 1.
I just appreciate Kory being a part of this. I appreciate everybody that's listened. I'm going to appreciate all the criticisms that's going to make us better as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's been great. So I thank you guys for listening. I thank Kory for joining me. And until we're going to have some other things and stuff like that I'll work on. Hopefully we'll get Coach Clemens and Coach Thomas in here soon for hour of them talking. And who wouldn't love that? I would. I'd eat that up.
That's good television.
I agree. But I really appreciate it. And this has been our Spring Sports Final Weekly Roundup. My name is Garrett Sims. I've been lucky to be joined by Haden Terrill. Thank you, Haden, for joining me. If you don't know Haden, he just finished up baseball season at Wellington, and you guys not only won districts, but you went to the, I think, semifinals, was it, in the state championship tournament?
Yes, yeah.
So that's such a cool thing to do, especially at Wellington. So if you could you just describe how this season was for you, and what was the fun parts? What are you going to miss about it? And let's get into it.
Yeah, well, we started off pretty good, and then once we hit that around, I would say 12-win mark, we just dropped off and had like a little 5-game losing streak where we didn't hit the ball at all. So we thought we were done, and then we came in every day and worked our hardest to hit. And that's all we did, and then we overcame that and started winning baseball games in the playoffs and made it to the semifinals, but unfortunately couldn't pull that one off. And it was unfortunate.
I was gonna say too, and the offense really did come around because I was gonna say you won the quarterfinal 10-0, and then I think it was your no hitter, the district championship. Was that about 15-0 or?
Yeah, it was 12-0.
12-0. That's got to be such a cool experience, and you threw 2 no hitters throughout the year, which is amazing. I mean, dude, you're such an unbelievable talent. Like, what goes into your pitching, and how do you get better? How do you train, and how are you so good?
Yeah, I mean, it starts in the winter. During the winter, I really don't take days off. Every day I'm up at the facility with my training guy, getting better and learning how to throw different pitches, learning how to throw harder. And then it really just starts before the winter. It just starts in the weight room. You just got to get bigger, stronger, faster, and that's how you're going to set yourself apart from everybody else.
And you're such a hard worker. That's how I think I met you, was in the gym originally. But, and I just wanted to kind of say, we talked a little bit about your pitching and your training. What are some of your pitches now? Are there any you would like to add? And what's maybe your best pitch, you'd say?
Best pitch right now is probably the slider. And I'm really, really fine with the pitches I have right now. I just want to keep critiquing them and get them better. And one of them I've added this year is a changeup. And when it's good, it's good. And then when it's bad, it's bad. So I just really need to get it really fine-tuned. And
do you mind if I ask you what type of grip? Is it like a circle change? What type of changeup? Okay.
Yeah, just a circle change. And then I just throw it as hard as I can and rip it.
Grip it and rip it.
Yeah.
So, when did you know that kind of pitching was your thing? I don't obviously want to write you off as a pitcher only, but you can hit the ball obviously very well. But when did you know pitching was kind of your thing, and when you take off with it?
I'd say, freshman year going into sophomore year, that summer. I was in between being a PO and still wanting to hit, and then I still hit in the summer, and just did not go good. And just the mental game when I was hitting, it just really brought down the mental game when I was pitching because it was still in the back of my head. Mm-hmm. So then at that point, I'm like, I got to choose one here. So I just chose pitching during the summer, and it's been a lot better. And then, of course, in high school, I still like to hit the ball. And
hit the ball far, too.
Yeah, that's the goal.
And I just say, we're going to talk a little bit about Wellington. What did it mean for you to spend your last 4 years as a Tiger, and what are some of your greatest accomplishments you think while being there?
Oh, yeah, it was probably the best 4 years of my life so far. And I met a lot of great people, had a lot of great coaches, and I'm just trying to continue the knowledge I learned from them and pass it on to forward generations, I'd say.
That's awesome. And I wanted to ask you, you talked a little bit about your coaches. Is there any favorite piece of advice that you have that any one of them's given you to stick with you? Summer coaches, high school coaches, any piece of advice?
I'd say the biggest piece of advice is just next pitch. You got to move forward. You can't do anything. Like if there's an error, you can't do anything about that. It's going to happen. It's baseball. You just have to look that one pitch ahead and forget about the rest of the game and keep going on.
And I just want to ask you about some of your teammates. Obviously, Wellington's a little bit smaller of a school, so who were your favorite teammates to play with? Who are you going to miss, and do you have any fun stories?
Oh, I'm going to miss all of them. Probably going to especially miss Joe, because even though he's going to be right down the road, kind of, up at MCC, but he was a good one. I like playing with him, and I like playing with all of them. They were all very good people and very good teammates. Probably a memory I'd miss the most is almost after every win, Joe would go hit a tiger crawl in the outfield. It was just it's so dumb, but it was funny.
Well, I'm going to ask you a dumb question. I don't know what a tiger crawl is. I won't have you show me, but could you maybe explain what it is?
Oh, it's like a bear crawl.
Bear crawl?
Yeah, we just call it the tiger crawl.
That's awesome. And see, it's that camaraderie, I think, that helps baseball in general. It makes the game more fun. We had a Thanos shrine. That's why I say that. We had an Infinity Gauntlet all the time. So you're going to UCM, and congratulations. You've committed and signed to UCM. So I just kind of wanted to ask you a little bit about this summer. How excited are you to get there and obviously do your thing? But what are some of the things you're doing this summer to get ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited. And I'm playing in a league, one game a week, where I just go up and throw. And then, of course, I'm lifting every day and doing pitching lessons and all that. So really getting ready for that. And, of course, it's pretty exciting because right now they're playing for a national championship. If they win today, they win it all. And, yeah, it's very exciting.
That's awesome. So I just, also college-wise, what are you most looking forward to when you first get there? Is there anything you're most excited about?
I'm probably most excited about all the knowledge that's there. You go to one place and you basically learn all they got. Like Wellington, I learned all the knowledge I could, and I'm just trying to take that step forward and keep learning. And all the new people, it's going to be really exciting. Yeah.
Man, they're going to be so lucky to have you, Haden. And I'm impressed, dude, because your arm is awesome. I think you are an amazing pitcher. I'm not a pitcher, so I can't fathom even throwing over 75. But, I just wanted to ask you, what about baseball has stood out to you, and what's made it that kind of favorite sport for you, and what are you going to, as you continue on this journey as an athlete, what are you going to like, what's kind of that passion for baseball?
Yeah, I'd say the best thing about baseball, it's a combination of everything. You got mental toughness, you got strength, it's just like pitching. I can just go up there and, if I'm really mad at something, just chuck that ball as hard as I can and, get it out. And that's what I love about it.
Yes, sir, Haden. Well, I just want to ask you anything else that you have to really say. I know it's kind of been a little short here, but, I'm just impressed with everything you guys were able to do this year. You guys are such an amazing group of athletes. Even yourself, dude. I mean, you are impressive. Your work ethic and everything else, dude. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know, athlete to athlete, inspire athletes, dude. You are such. I'm excited to see the things that you do, and I just want to open it up to anything else you have to say.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'd say, I mean...
How about this? What advice would you give to maybe some of the younger classmen at Wellington, you know, coming up and to pass off some of this knowledge?
Oh, I'd say, you know, just start in the weight room. You just got to get giant. That's how you're going to set apart from anybody. I mean, if you're giant, the people are going to look at you. I mean, people are going to see you. And you're also going to do everything, I mean, bigger, faster, stronger, all the things. So I'd say start there and then, I mean, just work your butt off every day and learn from everybody else above you.
Yes, sir. What's your favorite workout? Leg day, chest day, you do push-pull?
Oh, I do push-pull.
Push-pull.
But probably leg. Yeah, leg day.
I don't know. I like a good leg day. I got that later, so.
Yeah.
But thank you, Haden, for joining me, and I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Yeah.
All good. I just want to thank everybody so much for listening to the first season of Sports Timeout, and I will say I think we've had our ups and downs per se with consistency and other types of things, but overall I'm very happy with the product that we put out and what we're trying to do here, and that's bring more spotlight and attention to these kids doing great things and giving these kids a platform to speak on. And not only that, but to go farther and say the coaches and other people who just love high school sports. It's been a great year. Make sure you're still picking up your copy of the Odessan. A lot of people put in a lot of great work, especially Kory with some of his shots. Obviously, this summer, going to have a little less sports pictures, and we're going to be craving those come football season and soccer season, and as we get back into our fall sports. Hopefully we have some more things coming at you over the summer. Like I said in the past, Coach Clemens, Coach Thomas, some of these guys that have just retired and are role models to me. I'd like to sit down and talk to them and just learn more about the people that I look up to. And so with all that being said, I know I say that a lot, but this has been the first season of Sports Timeout. Thank you to everybody who's helped, everybody who's been a guest, everybody who's listened, everybody, because it's not just me doing this. It takes, an environment, a whole group of people. So for that, I'm entirely grateful.